Do you ever have that feeling in your stomach where you just know, like you know that you know, and you can't really describe into words how you know? It's that gut feeling that you question, even though if you're being honest with yourself, you already know that you know. You know the feeling I'm talking about, right? Yep, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about trusting yourself and trusting your gut, and how we usually always do have all of the answers that we seek, even if we act like we don't and we ask everyone else for their opinion. So why do we do that? Why do we ask a list of people for their opinions on our decisions, our journeys, our relationships? I was the absolute queen of letting outside opinions and outside projections guide my life journey. But the truth is that I've always been a very spiritual person, so whenever I would trust and rely on the strong, natural instinct that I had, the instinct was always right. Here's the biggest thing that I learned. There are a lot of distractions that can cause us to question ourselves or question our instincts or our natural feelings. And because of the journey that I went through, that I really had to grow through in order to trust myself and everything that I learned throughout the way, I wanted to make this video to share with you today. Did you know that you have the power to create life on your own terms by making your own decisions and creating your own path? And by trusting that you already know what's up. See, I believe that our instincts are actually signs from our higher selves, but the problem is that we stop trusting our instincts because we're being so jaded by so many different distractions. And one of the biggest distractions of all is outside opinions. Everyone has an opinion. In our current world, opinions actually come up, unfortunately, even if we don't ask for them. And our lives can be subconsciously influenced by these opinions, even if you don't initially notice it. Here's the thing about asking others for their opinions on any topic, but right now let's just use relationships as a reference. So you ask someone for their opinion on your relationship and or if you should stay in it. The thing is that people will usually respond from their level of consciousness, and they'll give you advice by projecting their experiences onto you. It's not always, but it's very common, and sometimes they don't even notice that they're doing it. So if they've previously been in a negative or a toxic relationship, something that might be small within yours that they know about could cause them to believe that you're going through a similar experience that they did, and they would give you advice based off of that. Another example, for those of you that don't know, is I'm actually in real estate, and when I was in the process of getting my license and getting started with the business, my fitness trainer at the time told me it was the worst idea ever. He told me that I was gonna hate real estate, that I should run, that his wife was in the business so that he got to see firsthand how horrible it was, and that basically I would end up losing the money that I spent to get my license to begin with. Luckily, I didn't listen to his advice, but here's what's interesting. About 4 years after I was in the business, him and I were still friends on Facebook, so he got to see all of my just solds and all the incredible experiences that I was having as an agent. He sent me a message to congratulate me. But that's not the interesting part. He also told me in that message that he himself had been in real estate for a year previously, and that after staying in the business for a year with little to no success, he decided to leave because it wasn't for him. So when he first gave me his advice that I didn't even ask for about real estate, he told me that it was about his wife's experience, but he was actually responding based off his experience, which is why it's so crucial that if you're gonna ask people for their opinions, you keep in mind that most of the time they're going to respond projecting their experiences onto you. Another huge distraction from trusting yourself and trusting the feeling that you naturally have is comparison. And there are so many different ways right now in our current world to compare, but the biggest one and first that came to mind is social media. So here's a few examples. Let's say that you've decided, after feeling it and knowing that it's the right thing to do, to move on to a new city, to change career paths and start a whole new life somewhere else. But then you go on social media and you see that your coworker just got a huge promotion. How could they get a promotion? You work harder than them, right? So then you decide to stay and maybe get your own promotion at the same company. Or let's say that you finally decided that the relationship that you're in is not for you, and after knowing that it's just not right for you and feeling deep down in your gut that it's not for you, you finally get the courage to leave. But then you go on social media and you see that a distant friend just got engaged in the most romantic way. And now you start to question if you should leave, because after all, if you leave, then you have to find somebody else and start the process over. And that strong inner guidance that you had no longer matters because you've been completely jaded by all the distractions. The list of distractions can go on and on and on. One that just came to mind, and this is a huge one, is let's say that there's a new person in your life, and this can be a friend, this can be a relationship, whatever, and you have a feeling that there's just something off about this person, and you're almost really skeptical to get too close to this person. But then you ask another friend for their opinion, and they think you're delusional. What are you talking about? That person's great. So you allow them to get close to you, and you get very, very close to them, and you end up getting burned because your natural instinct that you had is usually always right. And we really, really have to learn and try to trust it. If this is hitting close to home and you feel like you're going through similar situations, don't feel bad. I had to go through so many myself to learn that it actually is okay to just trust that I already know what's best for me. The bottom line is trusting yourself takes a lot of confidence. So here are 3 things that you can start doing today that'll help you get the confidence that you need to trust yourself and trust your own inner guidance. Number 1 is setting boundaries. Like I said earlier, if someone gives you their opinion based off their experiences and they start projecting their experience onto you, it's usually not intentional, but it can be detrimental if you let it be. The best way to set a boundary is to no longer ask anyone what they think, because ultimately their opinion doesn't matter. But that's where the confidence comes in, right? Confidence in knowing that you don't need to ask 1,000 people for their opinions because you're strong, you're powerful, and you already know what's best for you and best for your life. Number 2 is following through with the promises that you make to yourself. It would be very, very difficult to trust yourself if you keep saying that you're gonna do certain things that you never actually do. There is power in the follow through, right? Because the more that you say that you're gonna do without actually doing causes you to lose rapport within yourself. So if you say it, mean it, and do it, even if it's something as simple as making your bed every day, the more that you follow through, the more that you'll trust yourself, and the more that you'll build that confidence to know that you are in control of your life. Number 3 is self-sabotage. Now, I want you to listen to me very, very closely. Self-sabotage is extremely dangerous. It's basically creating a false negative reality in your mind that, of course, if you keep thinking about that, will eventually become your reality. Self-sabotage is you saying to yourself that you're not good enough for that person, you're not good enough for that experience, you're not good enough for that promotion, when in reality, of course you are. So don't create these false negative stories in your mind by self-sabotaging the experience without allowing them to naturally and fully and beautifully unfold. Do you know how much less stress we can have, less worry we can have, less anxiety we can have if we allow ourselves to just tap in and tune in to the fact that our higher selves already know the answers, to know that our gut instincts are there for a reason. Don't ask anybody else for their opinion because no one's gonna know what's best for you better than you. If you made it this far in the video, I wanna thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And I also wanna challenge you. The next situation that comes up in your life, trust yourself. Know that you already have the answers. I love you all. Thank you again for watching. And until I see you soon, keep your vibes high, your energy pure, and your soul connected. Bye.